Okay. Actually, coming to DB2, DB2 is a relational database. And actually, if
I
you
can
have
see your
time for
screen.
hands-on, I will go through that. Once I complete some half an hour session, I will come back to your hands-on and see if you have any problems in your hands-on during
Yeah,
exercise.
I can see your screen.
Okay, I will share it. Okay, perfect. I will share. Sorry. Okay. Um, Apart from relational database, um, we have another kind of database management system rather, which is called hierarchical model. And we can just go through the background of evolution of DB2 and how database was existing before DB2. So before DB2, we in mainframe there used to be one database management system called IMS.
Venkat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going through like the video yesterday, and I don't understand. To be able to hear you every day, I have to put my volume all the way up to 100. And when I was going through the recording,
Uh-huh.
my volume, my volume is really really high, and then yours is about
Oh,
it's almost half of my
it
volume.
is.
So I don't understand.
It is only with yesterday's video or all the videos?
No, I think it's always been like that. I have to put my computer's volume to 100 to be able to hear you clearly. I think even when we were
How
starting,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know if you're too far from your computer or what.
No, no. I am using my earphones actually.
Uh,
And now,
because
what about now? During class, can you hear me properly?
yeah, that's okay.
No, during now, can you hear me properly, or still your my voice is low? Even now,
Uh,
even now it is low.
uh, yeah, now it's good. Now it's good.
Oh,
I think your earphone, headphone or whatever, it's slow. It's making it really your volume low.
I could have corrected it. Maybe
Now it's
volume
gone
is
again.
low.
I can't. It's gone again.
Okay.
And the videos are very important to me to go through what we did. And
Mhm. So, those videos are helpful for you or not?
no, I was doing the lab. Then I was just reviewing something on there, and
Okay.
no, it will be very helpful when I start going through them. That's really one of the things why I paid for this is
Okay. Okay.
I'm using it for like a review or
Okay. Okay.
to for refresher.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Suppose imagine there is a hospital database, and when IBM started implementing database for their business, they started with IMSDB, where IMS stands for imagine there is a hospital, and we uh, categorize the elements in the database as segments. So actually this is a segment.
Venkat, you're not in your earphone anymore, right?
I am.
Oh, now
I am.
it's a little louder. Now it's yeah, now it's a better. But I have you all the way up.
Okay. So here hospital is a segment, and ward is a segment, and so on. Fine. So if you want to make any, and there can be multiple occurrences of hospital. See, imagine there can be multiple occurrences of hospital and ward. So you can imagine like your cards put one over other. So you can imagine several occurrences of hospital, and within one hospital there can be several occurrences of ward, and within one ward there will be multiple patients, and a patient can be treated by multiple doctors for multiple symptoms, and he may be given multiple treatments. So in this case, if I want to make an update to a patient in a particular ward, in a particular hospital, I have to uh, define the path, and I have to tell my program this is the path. You go to so and so patient in so and so ward in a particular hospital. We'll have to logically define a path and then make the update through program. There is no use of SQL. There is no concept of SQL, and it has been successfully implemented and used for several years, more than 2 decades. After that, RDBMS was introduced, and IBM is the first ever computer which has implemented their database in RDBMS on mainframe. And since IMSDB was their first database, they call the RDBMS database as database 2, which is DB2. And let us see what is the difference between data and information. Data is nothing but numbers and characters, mix of numbers and characters. And data is important because we draw some information from the data. In the sense, a data is just, if you see as a user, you open some file, it will have all numbers and characters, but we process them, we process the data and arrive at some useful information. And information is something which is used by the managers to make some decisions. So the decisions made by manager is based on the information that is coming from the data. The manager need not, will not know, will never be technical. See, manager doesn't know what is mainframe. He doesn't care actually. His perspective is only to see a quarterly report, or a balance sheet, like that. So these kind of reports come from data. And managers make decisions based on the information. So it is very important that the decisions which we make, in order to be correct, the data should be processed correctly, and the data should be stored in a correct way without any redundancy, so that the information coming out of it is reliable and accurate. So actually, when they designed RDBMS, it was based on identifying and building the relationships between two entities. Actually, consider an example. Now, in an employee entity, say employee table, employee ID is the primary key. In this sense, there cannot be more than one employee with the same primary key, with the same employee ID. And coming to project table, project ID is the primary key, which means that at any point of time there cannot be same project ID for two projects. Given that scenario, an employee in the employee table will always relate to one project, but a project ID in project table may contain multiple employees. So from employee table perspective, it is one to one relationship, but from project entity perspective, it is one to many. And this relation is not something which we have induced, but it exists naturally. Right? See, these are the relations which are existing. An employee can be part of a department, but department will contain multiple employees. So the relationship among these two entities differs based on from which perspective you are looking at the entity. If you look from the employee perspective, employee will always have one to one relation with project. It means that employee can be part of only one project at any time, one on one relation, one to one. But if you look from the project perspective, the project will always contain multiple employees. A project ID will be assigned to multiple employees. So, based on this concept, the relational model was developed. It means you identify the relations between different entities and the elements in the entities and build your objects, and we call them as tables, so that you can extract information the way you want. See, for example, this is how you store data in a table. Here I have a supplier table which has got four columns and multiple rows. In this case, I have shown three rows. So degree of the relation is 4 and cardinality is 3. So the more the degree of the table, it means it is encompassing more data, or it is containing data pertaining to more number of elements. Now, let us see what is a key. Key is a column in a table, and it is categorized into different varieties based on the functionality that key performs. For example, if the key is unique in the table and there is no duplicate for the key, we call it as primary key. And there may be a column in the table existing which can be qualified to become a key in the table is called a candidate key. And other candidate keys that are not chosen as primary key are called alternate keys. And foreign key is something, you have a key in another table. Table 1 has a primary key and table 2 has a another primary key, but the primary key of table 2 is a foreign key of table 1, and there exists a relation between both. For example, if you are if a new employee is joining to a project, as part of database integrity, we should make sure that you add the entry in the employee table, and at the same time project table also should be updated accordingly. It should not be that the employee exists in employee table and there is no reference of the employee in the project table, because they have a relationship existing among them. Fine. Keeping this uh, relationship and integrity in view, different levels of normalization have been identified, so that you will not only clean up the data, but you design your data base in the form of tables in such a way that there is no redundancy of the data. It means you don't keep any data in the table which is not required to be present in the table, or which is not appropriate to the table and which does not belong to the table. Let us see one by one. First form of normalization uh, expects that there are no repeating groups in the table, and every table should have a primary key, and the repeating group, each of the repeating groups should appear in its own table. Like, project should be, the project information should become part of the project table but not part of employee table. Employee table can have the reference of only project id but not the other information of project. See, department id can be present as a column in employee table, but department name, department address should go to another table pertaining to department, where department id is the primary key. Otherwise, what will happen, all these address location of department become repeating groups. Fine. If you take care of this property, that table is qualified to be existing in first normal form. And second normal form, partial functional dependencies are removed. It means all the attributes that are not part of the key must depend on the entire key for that entity. It means there is an employee ID, so employee salary should have a dependency on the employee ID. Employee salary cannot be something which is discrete, and which is something which doesn't have any relation with the employee ID, right? And you remove the redundancies in the table, then the table is said to be in the second normal form. Similarly, when all the columns in the table describe and depend upon the primary key, the table is set to satisfy the third normal form. And not only that, they are related to primary key, but they depend on the primary key. It means any column that is existing, say employee location, if you want to update employee location, you should be able to update it through employee ID. So without referring to employee ID, there should not be any reference made to employee location. Fine. And when no table contains two or more one to many or many to many relationships, it is said to be in the fourth normal form. And again, fifth normal form requires semantically related multiple relationships, and these relationships are two or more relationships among tables that are closely enough so that they can be resolved into single relationship. They should exist separately, but when you join, you should get an information pertaining to those columns or pertaining to the primary key. But most of the practically most of the databases exist in second normal form, because more the normalization, more complex will be the SQL query. And what happens if you make a mistake in designing the database, and if you over fine tune the database, and if your SQL query is not written appropriately, I will not say correctly, but appropriately, then the SQL query execution will be successful, but the result may not be completely correct. There might be some resultant rows which are not appropriate or which are not correct. And that may lead to a problem during decision making, because your decision will also be impacted if you make the decision on incorrect information coming out of your SQL query. And coming to database integrity, they should qualify entity integrity, referential integrity, and domain integrity. Right? See, entity integrity. For example, entity has a property, so it should have integrity in such a way that it does not violate that basic property of the entity. For example, primary key can never have nulls, and we should have an understanding what a null is. Null is not spaces. Null doesn't mean it doesn't contain anything, but it means we don't know what it is, what the value is. That is the meaning of null. Null means we don't know what the value is. It doesn't mean it is empty. No. See, for example, I have a column of address which cannot be null. It means it always accepts some value in the address. If you do not supply the value at all, then it is supposed to be containing null value, not empty. Fine. DB2 says I don't have any information about the column value. I don't say it is blank because I don't know. Nobody gave me any information. Fine. Similarly, if you have two tables and you have a primary and foreign key, they should always have an integrity when you refer to the foreign key from the base table. For example, if you update employee table, the corresponding update should be made to the project table also, so that now they are in sync with each other. Otherwise, you add an employee in employee table, you do not add that information in the project table, and you run a SQL query, you will get incomplete information. Suppose if you run the SQL query on the project table, then your information will miss the row pertaining to that employee. Okay, based on what type of query you are executing. Fine. And domain integrity. So whatever is the data type, it should adhere to that data type. For example, a numeric data type cannot contain any alphabetic. And actually, more stress should be given
What's
to
I
programming.
don't understand I don't understand the domain, why it's called domain. I've heard of referential integrity, but I've never heard of an entity and domain.
Actually,
But maybe we'll see it with examples later, right?
see, there is a domain. See, a banking domain will have information pertaining to bank. It cannot have information pertaining to education system, right? So the appropriate definitions also should the definition should be made appropriately such that the data also suits the domain. You can expect decimals or integers in case of a banking domain, and rather in case of any other industry, the data types and the values contained in that tables are different. Nature of the data is different depending on the domain, right? Then they can coexist together. Keeping aside the SQL part, keeping aside the SQL part, we need to understand how SQL is implemented in COBOL. That is very important. See, SQL you can practice. You don't need a mainframe for practicing SQL because more or less SQL is same for any platform, except there are some minor differences between Oracle SQL and DB2 SQL, but they are only in specific instances. In advanced cases, there are some minor differences, but otherwise SQL is same. Now, how to use the SQL in COBOL is what we need to learn from the mainframe perspective, because we need to use SQL statement within COBOL to process our database. Even before going to using the SQL in COBOL, you should be able to run some SQL queries in mainframe interactively. See, you might have practice some SQL using MySQL or any such tools, window-based tools, where you can run your own SQL queries, create tables, and update the columns and all. Similarly, in mainframe also we have a couple of tools which are very uh, helpful to execute some queries interactively. Maybe if you are in your development environment, you can run those queries and find get some information rather than writing a program for that. Let me show you that. You go to option D2, okay, and here uh, they have customized several tools of DB2 under this option, and one of them is Spoofy. Spoofy stands for SQL processor using file input. Okay, and you go to Spoofy option, and here you can execute your queries through your PDS member. So what I have done is I have created one PDS with the name kc03ac2.mfp.spoofy. Okay, I have couple of members there, and among them one member is employee. I can add a member here, come to my spoofy and open the member here. And here I have written my create table command, uh, and insert some values to the table interactively. And at the end, I'm selecting from the table all the rows and columns. Select star from table. And I do F3, press enter. You can see the result here. Fine. Now the challenge is tools like Spoofy are useful if you want to um, run some SQL queries interactively. But in production environment, we cannot expect manual intervention, run some queries and make updates to the database. Whatever you do is through your COBOL program. So now you need to include your SQL statements in your COBOL program and execute them along with the COBOL program. Fine. Now tell me, what would be the probable issue if you write SQL code in the COBOL program? Can you make a guess?
How did you run? How did you run the spoofy again?
Just press enter. Here you
I
can.
thought you don't.
Sorry.
Can you go in? Can you show me?
Okay. Come to D2, option D2.
It,
Okay. Okay.
uh, I remember when I was in mainframe back then.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm inside the member,
Okay.
you can press three semicolons and then do some F function, PF function, right?
Oh, like this.
Yeah. Was it semicolon, 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 and the
It
F3?
is not spoofy actually. Maybe some other tool, not spoofy.
Uh,
Yeah. Because I don't have QMF also. Maybe you were working with QMF,
oh,
query management facility.
oh, there's no QMF on this one?
Sorry.
There's no QMF on this mainframe?
No, no. They have installed only spoofy.
Oh,
But
I'm
actually,
gonna need that.
Spoofy is more interactive and very easy to work compared to QMF. QMF is required when you want to produce some reports. Otherwise, to quickly run some queries and check some database tables and make some updates, Spoofy is very interactive. It's easy to understand.
But in QMF, I remember it's easy to create a temp table, and then you can your output you can create a template so that your output will be using that template too.
No, even here we can do the same thing. See, I go to a Spoofy, I write my query here. That's all.
Oh, and can you go back to that settings? Can you
Hmm.
explain me the settings, how to use them?
Okay. See, you come to this DB2 primary option menu, press 1 for Spoofy, and you get this panel, Spoofy panel. Here, you give your
Mm-hmm.
PDS name along with member name. It contains your SQL statements. And here in this location, you give the name of the data set where you want to write the output of your query. So a spoofy will do a favor for you in the sense you just give the name of the output data set. If it is not existing, it will create for you. Fine.
Yes, but when when you press enter,
F3 you mean?
and no enter,
Enter. Okay. It just gives some
uh,
information. You
and
press
then
enter.
enter.
It will take you inside. And
Yeah, yeah, this one, this screen,
uh-huh. Here, you are setting up some
this
defaults
screen.
for your spoofy. So no need to change them actually.
So,
It's better to leave the defaults.
yeah, but and like that isolation level. Oh, this
The
is for spoof. You're gonna discuss this for the program,
Yeah,
right?
isolation
When
level
you
usually default is cursor stability actually. So you can
okay,
leave it as cursor stability. You know what? This isolation level comes into picture when you're working at a higher level of database activity. Like you have very big table where multiple users are using the table or columns in the table. Then you want to isolate users at different levels. See, you can provide an isolation at the row level, or by acquiring logs at row level, or page level, or table level, or table space level, right? And these are all advanced topics in DB2, where you work with the multi user environment and multi tables environment in the database. But for us, we
because
can just
in
leave
your
it as cursor stability here for the
okay,
um, default isolation level.
but when we write COBOL, you will discuss that isolation level. Because you can add that option in the cursor, right? The like you are.
No, no. In program, we don't talk about isolation level, because isolation levels are something related to the DBA, purview. See, DBA will decide what should be the isolation level for this table that we need to, declare. It is not the
Because
developer's job. It doesn't come into the developer, purview. Isolation level.
when I was reading the part one book of Murak,
Mm.
they now you can now use override the isolation level in your cursor with your cursor just for that cursor.
Okay. Just when if you you can just send me what he says he's talking about. Maybe I'll get an idea.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, this is a simple spoofy tool, so we can get inside it, write your query, and execute it. Once you write the query in spoofy, the first two characters is um I mean comment. If you press two hyphens, it is a comment in spoofy, like this. Now we'll try to understand how these tables can be referenced and used in DB2 COBOL program. One second. Okay. For that, we'll try to understand how DB2 uh, performs the database operations through COBOL. Now, coming back to the earlier question which I asked, suppose you have a compile GCL to compile the COBOL program, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, one sec. Okay. You have a compile GCL to compile the COBOL program, right? Now, you write some SQL statements in the COBOL program and try to compile the COBOL program. what is the probable error that you might get into? Just make a guess. You have a compile JSON open in
when
your, yeah,
when when compiling a DB2.
yeah. Suppose in your COBOL program you write SQL statements also and use the JCL
Uh,
COBOL which you use to compile your programs. If you use that and compile the program, what is the first problem you will encounter?
uh, timestamp.
No, no, no. See, it is a COBOL compiler which is designed to understand COBOL only.
Oh, yeah, you need a precompiler, right?
Yes, it cannot understand the SQL. For it, SQL is a foreign language. Now, what the IBM has done is it has given us another uh, tool compiler. They called it as pre-compiler because you do this activity before actual compilation. So this pre-compiler helps you to make COBOL compiler understand your SQL. And how? See, the pre-compiler does two things. One is comment out all the SQL statements in the program and convert them into host language call statements. Here host language is COBOL. So all the SQL statements are commented out and converted into host language call statements. Fine. And next thing is it will do syntax checking. It will make sure that there is no syntax error in your SQL. Now, once it is done with these two activities, it will produce an output called DVRM, Database Request Module. Now it is in the object code. It is the object code which comes out from the uh, program. Now the DVRM is in a state where all the SQL is converted into your COBOL. Now next thing is it will compile the program also. It means it will compile the remaining COBOL part of it. And once you're done with that, you go to the next operation called bind. So bind is very critical activity in the sense bind will take DVRM as input and it will bind the DVRM to a package and package to plan. You have two options. Suppose you have a DVRM, you link it to a package and this you link to a plan. Fine. Or DVRM can be directly linked to plan. See, imagine a plan as something which has got all the information and the route map to execute the queries. That is why that is the reason they named it plan. It is like your Google map. Suppose if you want to travel from your place to some other city, say Pittsburgh, Google will give you a plan like you go this way, you take this exit, and you join this highway, freeway, and reach the destination. Similarly, DB2 will prepare a plan which will tell DB2 like you go to this table, access this index, then you go to that view, do this, and finally execute the query and give the output. So plan is always executable, and it is our duty to bind your DBRM to plan or bind a DBRM to package and plan. But in real time environment, like in production environment, we always have packages bound to plan because the moment you go to your project and if you are working on a DB2 code, so DVA would have given you the package names and plan names that should be used by you for those programs. So you have to use them only and bind it to plan. Then your DB2 program is ready to be executed. And here bind performs the very critical activities as far as DB2 is concerned. One of them is uh, optimization and other thing is syntax checking. Now we have done syntax checking in pre-compiler, and why is that we are again doing syntax checking in bind? Why bind also does the syntax checking? Because at the time of pre-compiler at the time of pre-compilation, pre-compiler will do syntax checking and produce dbrm, but the dbrm produced at the pre-compilation stage may not be valid at the runtime, because there might be some changes made to the table during that process. Suppose there are multiple users working on the table, maybe as per a requirement a user might have dropped an index, then immediately db2 will mark that dbrm as invalid, because now the plan which was created earlier may not be the optimum plan. See, for example, now from New Jersey you're traveling to Pittsburgh, and suppose there is some construction work going on, and you are diverted you are asked to take a diversion. Now in this case, the existing route or a stretch of the path is blocked. Now you have to make a diversion and go to some other route, and you know travel towards your destination. Now what is happening, your optimal path has changed now, right? Similarly, when any index is dropped, for example on a table, your optimum path will cannot be the same as it was earlier. So what bind does is it does automatic recompilation and automatic rebinding. Fine. But at the same time,
Yes.
suppose a new index is added. Suppose you get a call while driving, your friend wants to join, then you may have to altogether change your route map itself, maybe spend some extra miles, go and pick him up and join that route after spending few more extra miles. So in such situations, suppose if you're adding an index to a db2, it will not take the responsibility of automatically recompiling it. What it does is it tells the developer, you take care of the job of binding it again and give me an optimal path, because you have added an index. Now I will do a fresh binding and give you a new path. I don't want to arrive at the optimal path based on the existing path, right? So that way, bind will help you, help the developer in taking the responsibility of recompilation and rebinding. Fine. And these are the
Yes.
criteria on which bind is performed by DB2. Like how many tables are referenced in the SQL statement, what is the size of the table, in this sense how many number of columns are there, and what are the indexes, and on what columns the indexes are built, what kinds of indexes are built, is it clustered index or non-clustered index, and so many factors. It will try to arrive at the optimal path, but IBM has never revealed what is their algorithm to arrive at the optimal path. So we'll have to believe whatever db2 says. It means if db2 says this is the path, optimal path after bind, yes, that is the optimal path, because we cannot debate with db2 on that, because db2 only knows how to arrive at optimal path, we do not know, and we have to go with what db2 says. Okay.
Uh, Venkat,
Yeah.
you know that 818 minus 818 timestamp error? error?
Yeah. See, actually, okay. Now I can explain you. It is a relevant question. Suppose you write a COBOL program, COBOL DB2 program. There are two steps you need to do. I will explain you from the JCL perspective. You need to run a precompiled JCL and bind. Then DB2 run. Now what happens? Suppose you create a DBRM, it will have a timestamp. Okay?
It should be greater, not equal.
No, no, no. Should be greater. Obviously, it will be great, right? You cannot run both of them together, right? See, DBRM is input for bind. So once DBRM is produced, once pre-compilation job is done, only then you will run bind job, right? They cannot be run parallelly. Fine. DBRM is the input to bind. So obviously, always T2 will be greater than T1. For example, see, for example, if you have done pre-compilation and binding, and you made some change to the program, fine. You have compiled it, but you forgot to bind it. Then bind timestamp will be lesser than precompiled timestamp, correct? In that case, it will give 818 error. Fine.
Yes. But now when you get an 818, what do you do to fix it?
Sorry.
I always get this in an interview.
I didn't get you. I missed you. What is that?
I always get this in the interview. They ask about this
Oh,
818.
yeah,
What causes what
yeah,
causes it and how do you fix it?
yeah. Because you know what? Once you uh, see, you pre-compile, then you get say T1, then T2. Okay. Is this clear?
Uh, yeah, so If you only have one JCL, why would it cause a problem if you're not changing the JCL, the precompiled JCL,
No, no, we
your
have two
precompiled?
separate JCLs. No, no, we have two separate
Oh yeah.
JCLs. One is precompile JSL, other one is bind JSL. Even if the JSL is only one, we have two different steps, right? There is a step for
Yes.
precompile, and later bind step will come.
So this will never happen in production, right?
No,
It's only when you're developing.
yes, yes, because you keep on making some changes, right? That is why.
But why would you have two different compiled JCL for COBOL DB2?
Yes, you will have a different compile JSL for COBOL debut. I'll copy that to your library.
Yeah, yes. So why would you have you don't have the whole set of steps to so that it always goes through one through all everything?
No, 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 no. See, you have to
Oh,
understand something. The compiler which is used to compile a COBOL DB2 program is different from the compiler which compiles only plain COBOL.
so you have to run two when you compile the COBOL DB2?
No, no, there will be one separate JCL. You have to use that only. You should not run the other plain COBOL compile JCL.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So if you have just one compiler, why would it have an 818? It's just going through the whole one-step job,
No, no, no.
all the
That
steps
is
in that one.
because no, no. That is because you compile. That is fine, but later you forget to bind. Right?
So the bind is not in the same job?
Yeah. There is a different job for bind actually. But
Okay, maybe I'll understand when we get to the
yeah,
JCL. That's
see,
okay.
you know what? I'll show you. I'll show you so that it gives you clarity. See,
Plus,
uh,
the bindings and the pre-compiling. Do you don't use the DB2 interactive for them? You always use the JCL.
yes, correct, correct. See, this is my DB2 pre-compiler, DB2 pre-C, fine, and this is my program, fine,
Mhm.
and
Also, it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
you have a separate step.
No, no, this is only doing pre-compilation and compilation. That's all.
Uh,
And there is one more job.
so that's my. But I have a question, Venkat. Why would you separate all of them,
You can keep in
the
the same job.
steps?
Never mind. You can keep in the same job, but they are separate steps, right? Your pre-compile step should come first, followed by bind step. The bind step cannot be before pre-compile step.
Yes, but like for example, this one,
Hmm.
you're running this separately from the precompile.
Yeah, because I just want to keep separate JSONs. That's all. It is easy for me.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. No, what I mean is if you have everything in one JCL, then there should be no 818, right?
Yeah, ideally, correct. Yes, you can keep them. See, what will happen is, sometimes you may want to bind only the packages or only the DBRMs for which you made some changes. See, it is like that in real time. The setup is like this. There will be one plan which contain several packages. Fine. So several packages are bound to a single plan. So if you make a change to a particular program, only that package needs to be bound again, rebound to the plan. So their JSL will be in such a way that you have option whether to uh, bind all the packages in the plan altogether or selectively bind only that package to the plan. So for that reason, they may have separated. They would have separated bind as a separate GCL.
Yeah, the package and the plan, it's still not that transparent to me. It's
What is
not
the
clear.
plan?
Yeah, plan and packages. It's not clear to me yet. So maybe when we get to that.
No, no. See, actually, you know what? DBRM need to be bound to plan directly. Actually, DBRM, if you bound to the plan, it can be executed. The plan can be executed. But from the practical point of view, for the administrative convenience and also for the user convenience, how they define is we have something called a package, you know, which can be linked to that DBRM, and that package is bound to plan. So package is a kind of
So
entity
a plan,
which will hold the DBRM.
when you
Imagine
say
like
plan,
that.
is that the plan that you have there right now?
Yes, yes, this one.
So the plan is your ID.
Yeah, here in the training server, they are allowing to use your ID as your plan name. ID name as plan name, I would say.
So you would say, so you're saying in the real world it would
No,
not be
no,
your ID.
no, no, never, never. Because the moment you
So
step into
how
the
would they
project,
would
at the moment you step into the project, and if you are working on DB2 code, the project manager or the you can get the you have to get the information about the packages and plan for your programs, for your environment, and you have to use only those plans and packages when you are binding your when you're doing your bind operation.
now what is this DSN system?
Okay, see, it is the system of the it is the name of your database which DBA would have given at the time of installation.
Oh, okay. So this is the DB2 system
Yes,
name.
DBAG.
And what's DB2 fetch one?
Oh, no,
Is
no,
that
that
your
is the
COBOL?
program name I have given to my program. It is my
Is that the
program name.
COBOL program?
Yes, correct.
And what's action REP?
Replace. Okay.
Okay. So it replaces an existing bind,
Yeah.
and you have to put that.
Yes, yes.
And do you also need to put encoding MCDIC?
It depends on how DBA would have done the configuration.
So
Sometimes
so we're not
some
supposed to code this. We can get this from the DBA.
yeah,
We're not supposed
usually
to know
yes,
this.
yes, yes. Actually, compile JCLs, bind JCLs, everything will be given by your admin. You have to just use them because they would have customized the way they wanted, and you are not allowed to override their whatever setup they have made. Usually, you will take these JCLs from admin and use them. He would have made all everything ready for you, and whatever is required from the developer that he needs to provide. Only that. Fine.
Okay.
Oh, did it open or not? Oh, it got open. Okay. And different kinds of SQL, right? Uh, Based on the kind of activity we are doing with SQL, it can be classified as data control language or data definition language or data manipulation language. Now, data control language is used to do some control activities like grant some permissions, revoke permissions from a user, grants a few permissions to the user, and activities like that. See, you can grant a special privilege to the user, like grant select on so and so table to a particular user, and you can grant these privileges to a user on the database, right?
Hmm.
Actually, you know what? W3schools.com has got very good SQL, you know, tutorials. I think even tutorials.com also. Basic SQL you can even practice in their, they have embedded server also. You can practice your queries there. All these queries. Tutorials.com and w3schools.com. Or what you can do is you can go to that. You can write that query in mainframe and execute and try yourself in mainframe. You can take the exercises from there, copy paste to mainframe spoofy, you execute there and see the output there itself in mainframe. That way you will have practice on mainframe at DB2. As part of data definition, you can create or alter a table, drop a table, create or drop a view, create drop index, like that. And data manipulation language includes your select, insert, update, delete commands. Okay. Now coming to writing SQL within COBOL program. We call such program as embedded SQL. Such kind of SQL is called embedded SQL, and those programs are called embedded SQL COBOL programs. Okay. The basic syntax for writing an SQL in COBOL is within these delimiters, exec SQL and exec. So between these two delimiters, you can write only one SQL query. So these delimiters cannot contain more than one SQL query within it. Fine. And additionally, you need to include a copybook, SQL DB2 supplied copybook called SQL communication area. This one. Fine. SQL communication area, which will contain several variables which are used by DB2 as part of executing SQL queries. And one among them is SQL code. Okay. And you need to write this include statement in the working storage section. And your select or any other queries will be written in your procedure division. See, for example, this is a procedure division statement, and this is working storage definition. Fine. and I'll show you the syntax how to write a DB2 program. Okay, see here is where I have my definitions. One of them is include employee decalgen and other one is SQLCA. Let us see what this is. Okay, whatever I'm including here is called decalgen. See, for example, I have created a table like this. Then I go to option 2 of decalgen and give the table name here and the PDS name, say mft.decalgen, and add the same table decalgen here. And let us see that if I press enter, it would add in that and it would look like this. You see here I have a declare table command followed by the COBOL definitions of the DB2 columns. Fine, because when you're working with COBOL program, each table column should have a reference to a variable in COBOL, right? To work with COBOL, you cannot use DB2 column names in COBOL directly. It should be defined in COBOL as a variable in working storage. So those working storage variables are also created as part of your decalgen by running the decalgen utility. Okay, now I have run the decalgen for employee table and it has given me this decalgen, declaration gender decalgen. Fine.
Yes.
Right, now all I do is
Yes.
in my program.
Wait. Okay, Venkat.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you have 2 0 1s?
Oh, no, this is.
Oh, it's the null indicator.
Yes. Fine.
But
Yes. Yes.
okay.
Correct.
Can you show me on the top what caused it to create how do you tell it to create an indicator variable?
You mean to say these variables?
Yeah.
These variables?
Is there when you create the decalgen, is there an option that you tell it to create a variable?
Oh, let me see. I haven't checked it. Usually, sometimes it will not give. Decalgen will not give that. Maybe. Yes.
Oh, indicator okay.
If you turn it to no, it will not give.
Okay.
It's up to you. Okay. All you need to do is
Okay.
include this decalgen here in the COBOL program, like this. Then
And when you say usage comp, it's the same as just saying comp, right?
Yes, in the binary form.
And it's also the same as just saying binary, right?
Yes, yes, obviously. It is binary.
Okay.
Same COBOL variable, COBOL
Because you
reference.
can also say binary, right?
No, 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 no. Binary is DB2. Const is
Oh,
COBOL.
okay.
Right. Now, when you do a select, you select the table columns into COBOL declension variables. Right. And the rule is that any host variable that is referred to in the select clause must precede with a colon. When you see a colon within exec_SQL and endexec, it means that's a working storage variable. Obviously, here it's a declension variable. Fine,
Yes.
right? The
Yes.
declension variable. Fine.
Hmm.
And here I am writing my query such a way that it gives only one row as the result, where employee ID equal to some ID. So, are you familiar with this kind of embedded SQL?
Yes.
So, if I ask you to say, um, load a table from a file and select few rows from a table, will you be able to write the program?
Yes.
Oh, I
I will
have
try. I will
I
try.
have given the syntax here for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then go ahead. What I want you to do is create a table. Maybe if you want, I'll give you this spoofy also for you. You maybe you just create a table and do not insert anything, and insert only through program, not through spoofy. Fine. Uh, did I explain correctly? You write this.
What?
You create this table. Okay. After that,
Hmm.
create unique index is mandatory statement. You have to create a unique index on the DB2
Okay.
table. Only then it is available for you to work with. Okay. And
Okay.
you do not insert any rows through spoofy, but what you do, you create a PS file like this. I Yeah, int like this. Okay. And try to insert the values from here.
Okay.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just try this exercise. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
And this is my salary field. This is my salary. This is my salary field,
Okay.
which is um yeah. See, salary decimal 7 comma 2. Decimal 7
Oh,
comma 2 means it is
Venkat,
equivalent to 9 of 5 V99. Pick 9 of 5 V99.
Venkat,
Yeah.
what did you do? Your volume went up. How did you make it go up?
No, I brought it very close to my mouth actually.
Oh, so that's okay.
Very
Because maybe
close actually.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
Um,
very close now.
Before that it was really low. Now it's going up.
Oh, okay, okay. See, decimal 7 comma 2 means it is equivalent to COBOL definition of pick 9 of 5 V99. Correct?
5V99, right?
Right? Yes. Now take this spoofy. You create a table like that and insert values from the PS file into the table and randomly check few IDs whether they are present or they not through your sysyn. Same program should also verify few IDs, right?
Yes.
Try to do that. Tomorrow I'll see if you are stuck with any problems. Let me see what
Can
the
can 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 we look at my problem from DSM?
yes, tell me.
Can you give me the can I share?
Yes, show your screen. Yeah. Yes,
Can you
now.
see?
Yes, I can see now.
So I'm getting a 35, and it turns out it's not the file is not open.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you show me what is the reason for 35? Maybe you got it in Google, right?
I got it from tutorials point. When you reminded me, I just looked it up
Wherever,
right now.
okay,
It's
wherever it is. What is
yeah,
35? Yeah, slightly go up. Wait, yeah. And file is not present. Simple. Go to your run JCL.
yeah.
It's very simple, common error. Okay, F9. Oh, okay. No. Go to your program. Okay, F7. One more F7. Okay, it is in DD and out DD. Fine. In DD, out DD. Okay. Go to your run JCL. Edit it. Okay. See, you have written in file and out file. it should be
Oh,
it should be in DD and out DD.
oh, okay. Okay.
You got it right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now go to file manager and check the output. You're doing good, Brian.
Oh, wait. Start FM didn't go to FM.
It is FM.
Oh, okay. Start. So if I go back, it should have been start FM dot two, right?
Yes, yes.
Can I still go back to that?
No, no. Type 2.
Uh,
No, 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 no. Type. No, 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 no. No need, no need. Uh, oh, you are going to ISPF. Okay, then start FM.2. Okay, okay.
okay.
Did it do any change?
Yeah, no, I only copied it.
Oh, it is loading your KSGS file, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think it is successful.
And uh,
And you know what? You go to your program. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Record written. Okay.
a record written. Where's my JCL?
Okay.
Oh, it's in
Now I think
use.
it's in 4F9. No. Yeah. Keep trying from 1F. Yes. Yes. Not this.
It says it's in use.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. It's two.
Okay. 2F9.
So 538. 538. Oh, why did it say 10, 11, 12 instead of 538?
Oh, okay, okay. You do F9? No, no. I want your run JCL.
Oh,
2 F9. Oh, yeah.
so
You know what?
what?
You know what? You should not blindly believe your spool because you go to your program. I'll tell you what.
Go to the program?
Yes. Okay. Now, um,
Oh, and did I do it the right way? I moved WSID to the outfield one, which is the key, right? And do you have to do a start for KSDS?
no, no. Go up. Go F7. F7. Uh, no. You keep your cursor near IO statement.
Here?
Maybe, yeah. Hmm. Okay, actually, you can open the out file once and close once, actually, one time. Anyway, it is not harming you. Um, mm, You should actually display the status code after you write your KSDS file also. Hello, hello. Okay, Brian, can you come down?
Yes.
Can you go to
Let me
200?
share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Can yeah, I can. Can you go to 200 accept per? Wait there. don't have to write this statement out file next and all. No,
Well,
you
what
just
do I do?
read out file. That's all.
Oh, okay. It was giving me an error when I don't put an X. It was giving an error
Yeah, that's
because because it was saying I'd use dynamic.
no. You make it random.
Oh,
Make it random. Yeah, come down. Yeah, come down. Go to that place. Read. Read. Okay, very good. And remove that next and all. Yes, remove that. Completely delete it.
this?
Yeah, even not at and you
Why?
remove that line at all. Actually, you know what? You remove all those lines. I'll tell you. Till end if. Yes. Actually, you go to that if condition, if WSID equal to xxx. Yes. Come down. One more. You go left. One more. One more. Right end if there. End if. Uh, now read out file. Remove that end read. Remove end read. And end if both. Okay. 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 Now, now make sure you have come to column 11 maybe. Mostly you have come to column 11, I believe. The move statement and read. Yeah. Now there you write below read out file. Come down. In that line you write go to 200 accept. Yes. Go to 200 accept. Period. Accept. No. Accept. Period. Okay. You can remove that 200 exit para. We don't need that. That para itself you delete. Both the two lines. No. Do F8. Delete those two lines. Okay. F7. Now. Okay.
But I have an accept until
Now,
here.
yeah, stay there. Stay in that line. Stay in that line. Go to the beginning of that line. No. Come down. No. Yeah. Okay. Here you come to perform statement. You have written
Here?
yes. Go back. Right. Go to there. Okay. And remove until condition. Remove it. Yes. Then delete that close file and stop run also. Okay. I don't know if you need main exit. Uh, go up. Where are you using main? Main para 000 main.
No, it's just for readability. I'm adding a start and end paragraph just for readability.
Then remove those two lines.
Which one?
000 main and exit.
Oh yeah, it should be exit.
Yeah, you can remove them. We don't want them. Yes. Close in file. Hmm. Okay. Wait. See, okay, there you are loading the file. You are coming down. You are closing both the files, and opening the
Mm-hmm.
file. Let it be like that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Now, uh, F8.
So,
Remove that constant
Venkat, why did we do random instead of dynamic?
because you are randomly selecting few IDs. We are not going sequentially, right?
Uh,
Now you delete 100 exit and exit also. You come down. Yes. Go, yes. Delete those two lines. Huh. Now do F8 at that point. No. Come down. There you do F8. Very good. Now, if WSID equal to XXX, you insert a line after that. Do I in 12 next one? No, not there. Next one. Yes. Yes. You come a bit forward, move forward. Yes. Then now you write close your out file, your KSDS file, close
what
out
is
file,
that?
close out file, enter, stop run. Yes. Yes. After read out file, you may put a display to see what is the record. You whatever message you want to read. The ID is, and you display your ID. Mm. Yes. Yes. Actually, you know what? Here you should put a condition. If the status code is 0, then you display read is successful. Else you should say if the status code is 23, you should say ID not found. Right? Yeah. And what is the ID that you read also you have to display. No, ID. Yes, you can. Yeah. Okay. No. Actually, you know what? Uh, okay. Later you change it to evaluate statement. Now let it be here like this. Okay. 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 That's now it is very straightforward. Actually, you don't have too many lines.
Uh,
You will have to compile again and run. And make sure you
okay.
close the file. You close the file. That file in file manager. Close it. You go to file manager.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
No, 3. 3. Yes. 3F9. Yeah. Check what is the error. MF8. Only 2. Okay. See your file status name. Check the name of the file status.
In file.
Definition. No, definition for file status. You go to your program. Go to program. F7. File stat. It is file stat.
Not for in file, right?
No, out file only. It's file stat. F8. Go there. F8. 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 Yeah, here. Bad file something. Yeah, it should be file stat. No, file hyphen stat. Yeah. And one more place it is complaining. Yes. That's it. Save and compile. Very good. Compile. Okay. Go to run GCL. Submit. Okay. Go to spool. Right?
Yeah.
Very good. That's it.
Why do I have record written?
Yeah, maybe you didn't take care of that actually. Whatever is the status code, you are printing that message.
Okay.
You didn't program it. You can do it later.
Okay.
You should write that message only if the status code is 0.
Okay.
You're not putting that condition. So whatever is the status code, it is giving writing that message. That's okay. You can just handle with the if condition. That's all.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I did.
Yeah, I
Instead
know.
of exclamation,
I need not
I
read
was
your code.
putting.
I know what is the error. I need not read your code also. I have
Okay.
seen that.
Yeah.
Never mind. You make that change, small change. It should be fine.
Okay.
And tomorrow you try to write the DB2 program.
Okay.
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 So I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually, I may join a bit late, maybe 1 o'clock your time. I will ping you anyway. Today,
Okay.
sorry, I had to make you wait, but tomorrow I should join late and I'll ping you in advance.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see
Okay.
you tomorrow then. Meet tomorrow. Thank
I
you.
see. Thank you.